ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप गदामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनो बन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश कविकान्त राधा कान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ब्रजभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च प्रीतानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवजदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जयति जयति नामानंद रूपा मुरारे विरमिरे धर्म ध्यान पुजादिया तम कथमपि सकृदं मुक्तिनं प्रणिनं यत् परमामृतम् एकनं जीवनं भूषणं मे। जयति जयति नामानंद रूपं मुरारे विरमित निज धर्म ध्यान पुजादिया तम कथमपि सकृदं मुक्तिनं प्रणिनं यत् परमामृतम् जीवनं भूषणं मे। मदनं मधुरेभ्योऽपि मङ्गलेभ्योऽपि मङ्गलं पावनेभ्यो मधुरं मधुरेभ्योऽपि मङ्गलेभ्योऽपि मङ्गलं पावनं पावनेभ्योऽपि हरे नाम हेव केवलम्। हरे नाम हेव केवलं कलौ नास्त्येव गतिरन्यथा। So we are reading from Nectar of Devotion, the Eastern section, second wave, about sadhana bhakti. So Rupa Goswami has explained about the regulative principles and also what to avoid. So in the limbs of devotional service, 64 angas of devotional service are there. First of all, of course, one has to take shelter of the spiritual master, Guru Padashray, and then one will inquire from him, and then one will perform devotional service under his guidance. And then he has also explained what to do, some rules and regulations, and then what not to do. And then, so giving up the association of materialistic persons, and one should not be too much attached to, even I mentioned here, to making disciples, and so on. And of course, so it has been mentioned about giving up Nama Parad and Seva Parad, by all means. course, Dhammaparat are there also. And Jiva Hingsa, even being or causing harm to any living entity. So in the conditioned state, aparat will be there, especially Sevaparat, Namaparat, or if one is in the Dhammaparat will be there in the conditioned state, because one is on the modes of material nature. So therefore it is recommended that we should chant after deity worship the mantras for obtaining forgiveness for offenses. Mantrahinam kriyahinam bhaktihinam janadana ya pujidamayareva paripuram tadastume, and so on. Even Hari Bhakti Vilas. Sanatana Goswami has explained that before taking rest, the devotee he should beg forgiveness from the Lord in case some offense may have been performed. And then here in text number 83, Asyas tatra praveshaya dvara trepya anga vimshate trayam pradhanam evoktam gurupad ashrayah gurupad ashrayadikam. So these 21st limbs which are there are the door for entering Bhakti, the gate of Bhakti. And the first three angas, taking shelter of the feet of the spiritual master, receiving teachings after initiation, and serving the spiritual master and the previous acharyas, are considered to be the principal ones. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining, though all 20 angas act as the door to bhakti, the first three angas are the most important. And especially, the first one is to take shelter of the spiritual master, and then naturally one will take instructions from the spiritual master, and one will follow his instructions. That is most important. And then further, it has been explained here in the next 9 verses about the different limbs of devotional service. Trite Vaishnava Chinanam Hare Namaskarasya Cha Nirmalyadesha Cha Tasyagre Tandavam natihi abhyutanam anuvrajya gati stane parikramaha achanam paricharya cha gitam sankirtanam japaha vigyapti stavapatascha sadhanavedya padyayo dupa malyadi saurabhyam srimute spristiriksanam Artrik utsavadescha shavanam takripekshanam smriti dhyanam tatha dasyam sakyamatmani vedanam. So here, explanation of the different limbs of devotional service. And actually the 64 limbs of devotional service here, more than half are actually pertaining to deity worship. And then, as mentioned here, so Savanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Bandam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmani Vedanam. Navida Bhakti is also explained here. Nijapyopaharanam tad arte akkira chestitam sarvatasana apati stadyanam sasevanam tadyastulasi shastram attura vaishnavadhyaya Yathavai Bhava Samagri Sadgoshtilhir Mahotsavaha. Urjador Visheshena Yatra Janma Dinadishu Shraddha Visheshata Priti Simurter Angri Sevane Shrimad Bhagavat Arthanam Asado Rasikai Saha Sajatya Shayesnigde Sadhav Sangha Sato Vare Nama Sankirtanam Simuttara Mandala Stitahe. So, following are explained here, 44, marking the body with the Vaishnav symbols. So Vaishnav tilak is there on the forehead, and then on the belly, on the chest, on the throat, right side of the belly, and the right arm too, on the left side of the belly, right arm two more, and then two in the back, upper and lower. Marking the body with the symbols, with the syllables of the Lord's name. So sometimes among the Govardhana Vaishnavas they have stamps with the names of the Lord, like Radheshyam or just Hare Krishna. They may also sometimes be applied, sometimes on the chest, on the left side or the right side, sometimes on the arm between the two tilak markings, it may be done also. But these are applied with chandan. Whereas in the Sri Sampradaya, they will have the normal tilak may be there, and then they will have tilak, or they have the stamp with the conch and the chakra, the transcendental will of the Lord. So with a red hot iron, which so piece of iron put in the fire, and that is actually being worshipped. That is explained also. Just like worshipping the Lord or the paraphernalia of the Lord. So they worship with flowers, Gandha Pushpa, Dubdib with incense and gilam, and some offering is offered of sweets. But that is not done for the Vaishnavas. Sometimes you may see some Vaishnavas, they actually also with a stamp, they will put the tilak, permanent tilak. But usually as Vaishnavas we do not put permanent tilak. Third of the 44, wheeling the garlands, flowers and sandalwood offered to the deity. Malya Prasad. So things offered to the Lord that is very auspicious and that is very powerful, and that we may accept for our purification. Next, dancing before the deity of the Lord. So therefore the Acharyas have established a deity worship, and in the morning time glorifying the Lord and chanting the holy names, and then dancing in front of the deities. That is giving pleasure to the Lord. Offering respects on the ground, pranam, ashtanga or panchanga. For the man, ashtanga, all the limbs or the full body on the floor, dandavat, just like a stick falling down. For the lady is panchang, the chest of the lady, so the breast should not touch the ground. And then after that, rising up to see the Lord. And also saw that is a show of one surrendering, expression of surrendering when we offer obeisances with the body, by bowing down completely, and then also by actually uttering some mantra in the glorification of the Lord. And so the body, and then with the mind also, practically touching the feet of the Lord. So body, mind and word should be surrendered to the Lord. Then one will rise, rising up to see the Lord. And then again at that time when we see the Lord, we should fold our hands, and then we should first see the lotus feet of the Lord and then go up slowly but surely. And then after that, so if there's procession, Shobhayatra, we should follow behind the Lord's procession. And then next, so going to the Lord's residence, so that means going to the temple. And then circumambulating the Lord or his dham. So we should, when we take darshan of the deities, and then we should also do parikrama of the Lord by circumambulating the temple. Or also the dham, if you are in the Vrindavan dham, it is recommended to regularly do parikrama of the holy dham. Next, in deity worship, one is performing achman. One is performing achman and then one is performing archana, worship of the Lord, practical. And then as Sodasapachar Puja doing artik and so on, that is known as archan or murti seva. So it is mentioned here, and also at the end it will be mentioned as the most important, one of the most important limbs of devotional service. 11, performing menial service to the Lord, to the deity. So that is in the temple, those who are cleaning the temple, so that is menial service to the Lord. Or even cleaning the Lord's paraphernalia. Next, the 12, singing for the deity. Individually, and then 13, singing in a group, kirtan and then sankirtan. And then the next, performing japa. And then we should have a japa mala and we should perform japa. With a bead bag, we should chant the holy names of the Lord. And then the next, offering words of sentiments. So that is also explained that we should reveal our heart to the Lord. So with one's mind, of course, we may do that, or with words also. Uh, 16, next, reciting prayers. And usually it is recommended to recite prayers of the previous acharyas who are very dear to the Lord, and that will be then, of course, accepted for our benefit. The Lord will see, oh, this devotee is singing the verses compiled by my dear devotee, whoever it may be, like Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. And then the next 17, tasting food offered to the Lord. So the Mahaprasadam of the Lord, that is very purifying, so that we should accept. Tasting the food water of the Lord, the Rasamrita of the Lord, that we should also try to do. 19, smelling the incense and flowers offered to the Lord. Twenty, touching the deity. So that is the prerogative of the pujari. So it's going on the altar, and then he's ready to serve the deities. And before doing his seva, he may so he may be touching the lotus feet of the Lord. And of course, while dressing and doing the abhishek of the Lord, one is also, of course, very fortunate to be able to touch the deity of the Lord. But just seeing the deity of the Lord in the temple, so that is most auspicious and required actually, because we have not seen the Lord in our conditioned state. So then we have to go to the temple and see the deity. Or if we have at home, that is also very important and conducive. And then the exchange will be there with the Lord, with the deity. And seeing the Artik and festivals. So it is mentioned when the Pujari is doing Artik and the visitors are taking darshan and staying, especially if they stay during the whole Artik, then they get the same benefit as the Pujari. That is mentioned. And observing the festivals also. 23. Hearing the name, form, qualities and pastimes of the Lord. Nam, Rup, Gun and Lila. So that is very important. We have to hear. Let's say if we have Gonitai in the temple, then we should hear about the wonderful pastimes of Gonitai. If we have Radha Krishna, then we should hear about their wonderful pastimes. And then, so when we serve the deity, we hear about Krishna or Radha Krishna, and then when we chant the holy names, then they become one. And then actually our chanting will be effective, and we will get the taste for chanting holy names. Next, accepting the mercy of the Lord. So the Lord is always merciful. So, but we should become receptive. And so more than just going to see the deities, we should be there to serve the deities. We go to the temple to serve the deities so that Krishna may see us. That, oh, my devotee has come and is always ready to do seva. And then we get the mercy of the Lord. And so when we see the deities, we hear about the deity, then we should try to remember the deities. So, and then meditating on the Lord. So meditating, that is little more deep than simply remembrance. Remembrance is remembering the form of the Lord. Meditating is that to be deeply absorbed and trying to be absorbed in remembrance of the beautiful form of the Lord, His qualities, and then His associates and pastimes. 27. Acting as a servant of the Lord. So Dasyam. In this mood we should serve. That I am the servant of Krishna. Sambandha Gyan. I am the servant of Krishna. I am meant to serve Krishna. Thinking of the Lord as a friend. So we should think, Sakyam, that Krishna is our best friend and is truly our best friend. And life after life, He's actually accompanying us. He's there within our heart, accompanying us and trying to help us. So we should accept the friendship of the Lord and then reciprocate by trying to serve, by trying to reveal our mind to Him, and trying to have a loving exchange with Him, just like best of friends. And then after that, offering oneself to the Lord. Saranagati, Atmanivedanam. So that is only possible when we are purified in consciousness. Even Sakyam. So that is possible in purified consciousness. In the beginning stage of sadhaka, so we can come up to Dasyam, understanding that we are the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In more purified consciousness, then we can understand that Krishna is our best friend. Sakyam. And then, more purified consciousness, we can fully surrender to the Lord, which is the goal, but which is not so easily attained. Next, 30, offering the best items to the Lord. So we should offer foodstuffs to the Lord and should be first quality. So whatever we offer should be first class. Hare Krishna. He upstairs on the first floor. "31. Making full efforts for the Lord. "32. Surrendering to the Lord. So we should try to surrender. Now, 1 second. Hare Krishna, here. Come in. Okay. I close the door. So surrendering to the Lord, again it is mentioned. So some of the items are mentioned again and again. So in general, deity worship, archana, but then the different upachars which may be offered to the Lord. And 32, serving tulsi. Tulsi is very dear to Krishna. And the sadhaka, when we are offering any foodstuffs, we always put tulsi. And then we can be sure that Krishna will accept, because tulsi is very dear. Close the door completely because mosquitoes are there. 34, so studying the scriptures. That is very important. We should study the scriptures. And of course, even more important is actually to hear the scriptures from the lotus mouth of the devotees who are more advanced. And then 35, living in Mathura, living in the holy Dham. And that is also very important. 36, serving the devotees, Vaishnav Sera. Hari Guru Vaishnav, we serve the Lord, we serve the spiritual master, we serve the Vaishnavas. 37, holding festivals according one's means with the devotees. So the different festivals which are there, they should be observed. Janmashtami. If you have a deity of Krishna, then we should observe Janmashtami. Krishna Janmashtami. And offer new outfit, offering bhoga to the Lord. And so special offering of bhoga, so that should be done. And the special should be very in the temple should be very elaborate observance of the festival. 38, observing Kartik Vrat. So during the month of Kartik, we should do special Vrat, so some austerity. Or, of course, and the minimum is that we chant the Damodara Ashtakam and we offer ghee lamp in the evening. But then if we can do a little more, that will be more advantageous, that is more pleasing. The more we endeavor, the more Krishna is pleased, or Srimati Radharani. 39, observing Janmashtami and other special occasions. That has been explained also already. 40, having faith and great affection for serving the deity. Priti Purvak Murti Seva. So, up to 39, so the different limbs were explained, and then 40 till 44 or 60 till 64, again the most important limbs are explained. It has been explained already before, serving the Vaishnavas or serving the deity. Many items are in regards to serving the deities. So having faith and great affection for serving the deity, Priti Purvak Murti Seva, that is very important for the sadhaka, for the practicing devotee. Without serving the deities, then, so how a relationship can be established with Krishna? We cannot see Krishna in the conditioned state. So therefore we worship the deities. And then there's an exchange with the deities. And then we can truly see Krishna. So that is very important. And then 41, relishing Bhagavatam in association of devotee. Svajatiya, it is specifically mentioned. Svajatiya Bhakta, those who are having the same kind of mood towards Krishna. And Braj Bhakta. And especially in our Sampradaya, in our line, following Rupa Goswami, those who are inclined towards Madhurya Bhav, and the mood of the gopis. 43, Nam Sankirtan, which is actually the most important of all the limbs. And then 44, living in the area of Mathura, Dhambas. So, they have already been mentioned before in the 40 limbs, but again here they've been explained, they have been mentioned because they are most important, and so that we may take it up seriously. So, living in a holy dham, but it is not possible for everyone. But if you are worshipping the deities, then at home, you may be anywhere, then Dhamvas will be there also, because Krishna is always in a holy place, or Mahaprabhu. So then that will be accomplished. Therefore it is highly recommended to worship the deities at home also. If you are not able to stay or be near the temple, then you should have deities at home and worship them. And then Dhamvas will be there. And then hearing the Bhagavatam in the association of the devotees, those who are more advanced, the Bhavukar Rasik Vaishnav. But most important, that is explained in the scriptures, in the various scriptures, and also explained by the acharyas, the Nam Sankirtan is most important. Chanting the holy names, the Mahamantra, especially Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the acharyas have glorified the holy names of the Lord. In the Vedic literatures, the holy names have been glorified extensively. So therefore we should try to chant nicely the 16 rounds. And that is the minimum, chanting 16 rounds. And then everything else which we are doing actually is a help for us to nicely chant the holy names. By worshipping the deities, serving the deities, there is an exchange, and then while chanting the holy names, then naturally we'll be able to remember the deities. We hear about Krishna's wonderful pastimes in Braj, and we are serving Krishna in the deity form, and then what we have heard, that we may remember also while chanting the holy names. And in this way, so, and chanting the Gayatri also. There's a Krishna Gayatri, Kam Gayatri, Gopal Mantra, to help us to focus on the Lord. Because in conditioned state, the mind is very flickering. We may be chanting the holy names, but the mind is going here and there. But by chanting the Gayatri, then one will learn to be a little bit more focused for a short time, and that will help us, because these Gayatri mantras are not different from the Lord. So, and that will help us to be focused, and then especially also be focused while chanting the holy names, but in seva also. And in this way then we can advance nicely in our spiritual life. So then Rupa Goswami is mentioning about the 64 limbs, and that the 5 most important blips are there, Mahatma, and therefore the acharyas have also made sure, when they are instructing their devotees, their disciples, giving them the process of sadhana bhakti, that these are actually included, just like Prabhupada, he established deity worship, that everyone should go to the temple for Mangalartik, for Darshan Artik, for Rajbhog Artik, Sandhya Artik. Therefore he has established different temples all over the world, and especially in the holy places. So in this way the devotees, they can advance in their spiritual life. And he established the Bhagavatam every day in the morning and Bhagavad Gita in the evening. So in this way, relish in Bhagavatam in the association of devotees is there. And so basically, so created the society, so for the devotees to have each other association. So because we have to associate with like-minded devotees. So Prabhupada established that. So that is Panch Mahatapurna Anga are there in the devotee's life on a daily basis. And then one can advance rapidly in the devotional service of the Lord. So we'll stop here because I have another program at 7:30 and Bhaktivedanta Hospital. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Radha Sham Sundar ki jai, Satyanandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Shri Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai, Shri Jiva Goswami ki jai, Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai, Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Aisya Bhaktivedanta Swami, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai, Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.